okay? So oddly enough, the first one we get a lot of is, what is Google Assistant anyway? And this is a quote that appeared at I/O this year, it appeared at I/O last year, and I really like it because of two things. It's a conversation between you and Google that helps you get things done in your world. And there are two parts of that that are really crucial to me. One, it's a conversation. Okay? Unlike the user interfaces that we're used to before, where we've got commands or we've got buttons to push, we don't have those with the assistant. What we're taking part in is a conversation. And second, it's meant to do things in your world. One of the things we've seen so much in pretty much every UI that has been around to date is they're designed to suck you in. They're designed to pull you into the screen, they're designed to pull you into the environment where you're working in. And that's great for some things. It's great for a game, for example. But Google Assistant is meant to do exactly the opposite. It's meant to leave you in your world, let you do things in your world, and help you out as much as you need, but be as minimally invasive as possible. Hey Google, next slide.
Okay, getting the test version of this audience.
How do I know who is using my action?
So that's a question we get all the time, and it's probably the biggest question we get on Stack Overflow, is they want to know who is this person that they're talking to, which boils down to an identity problem. And there are a lot of solutions to it. The three big solutions here are, you can get basic information about the person. So you can get their name, you can get their location roughly, you can get a precise location, but all of those will force the assistant to ask the person if they can give it to you. We have an anonymous identifier. And this is actually, people look at this and say, well, what do I care about an anonymous identifier? It's still a crucial part of identity, because if you don't need to know exactly who it is, but it's really useful to know when they've come back another time, or how many times, or to keep sessions going in between, or just to keep a context of your own. That's important to you. That is their identity to you. And that's probably more important than anything else. So we have this anonymous user ID that's available in every message that you get. And it's repeatable between them. Users can clear it if they need to, but it's not exactly trivial for them to do so. You can think of this as a cookie that you set that's going to be handed back to you if you're familiar with web development. And then finally, we have account linking. So if you already have accounts on your system, there are ways to say, okay, connect Google's concept of who this person is with my account. And while that's great, it's also really complicated right now. And it's been an ongoing conversation about how they can make it easier to do this linking, but still ensure that there's a level of security. And that's kind of the balance that we always face when we're dealing with identity. Hey Google, next slide. Hey Google. Hey Google, next slide.
All right, here's the test version of this audience.
How do I want to make it private for just me?
That's kind of the follow-on to the identity is, I've just made this program that I just want to run it in my house. How do I do that? The answer is don't. Quite simply, the easiest way to do that is to go through account linking and then limit it to yourself. It's possible to create an action and send it live in a test mode, like you're hearing me do right now. And it'll stay that way for 3 days, and then it'll be taken down. And you need to do it again. So it's possible, but honestly, it's not optimal. The best thing to do is plan to make it public, and then just limit it to people who you want to limit it to through account linking. Hey Google, next slide.
All right, let's get the test version of this audience.
How can I make it speak French or Spanish?
At Google I/O this year, they announced that Google Home was going to be available in a bunch more countries. It just is rolling out to Canada starting yesterday. It's been in the UK for a while, but one of the things that people in the UK noticed is that none of the actions that we could build worked. And that was a problem because UK English is a little bit different from American English. And it is when you think about it. If you're talking to a machine, The two, there are stylistic differences, there are accent differences, there are a bunch of mannerisms that are different between the two. So while internationalization is coming, so I keep being assured, and I'm going to ask Brad this later, it's not there yet. The thing to do to prepare for it being there kind of boils down to make sure as much of your logic is separate from the language part. And that can be tricky, but it's something that we need to do. We've sort of learned how to do this for the web and for apps. It's a whole new ball game when it comes to conversation. Because this isn't just, okay, we need to put a different word in a button. This is, we need to think about how people converse in French differently than how they converse in English. The answers that they get back can be different. The kinds of responses they get are going to be different. So these are things that we need to be thinking about now as we prepare for it. And as soon as Google kind of lets us know where things are going, we'll be able to head in that direction. Hey Google, next slide.
All right, getting the test version of this audience.
I have a great Android app. How can the assistant call it?
It can't. Usually about 90% of the questions that I see that boil down to this involve the person thinking about it as, hey, the assistant is a launcher for my app. That's all I want. I just want to launch my app. That's kind of missing the point of what the assistant is. That's not a conversation. If what you really want to do is get some data from your phone and be able to query it and have a conversation about it with your phone, there are some things that you can do, and yes, there are some kludges that we can do to actually launch an app from the assistant. But if you're heading down that road, you're already thinking about it poorly. One of the things I like to say is you really do need to think outside the dialogue box. You need to think in terms of talking and asking, and maybe that means you're going to get different bits of information in different order. But that's okay, because that's what a conversation is all about. Hey Google, next slide. Hey Google, next slide.
All right, here's the test version of this audience.
What about my custom home automation?
Well, the good news is home automation is now supported through an API with Google Home. And we're seeing more and more about that. If you are interested, you can check out the Smart Home API for the assistant. The other thing, for those of you who like doing IoT stuff, is that you can now build the assistant into your own IoT device with the Assistant SDK. All of this is still pretty new, but it is pretty awesome. If you're interested, there's plenty of documentation that will work to some degree. This picture is of a drink mixer that has the Google Assistant built into it. So you can ask it things like, what are the ingredients you have today? What goes into it? And then please make me a drink. Hey Google, next slide.
Sure, let's get the test version of this audience.
Why should I develop for the Google Assistant?
Well, the one great reason is you want to win $10,000 in a trip to Google I/O next year. That was supposed to get a bigger laugh. I'm a little disappointed by that. Thank you. So there is an action challenge going on through the end of August. If you build an action and register it by the end of August, you're entered for a chance to win $10,000 and an all-expense-paid trip to Google I/O next year. This is nothing to sneeze at, and I would really, really like someone from this group, someone from the New York area, to enter and win. There are, in addition to the $10,000, 20 other prizes. Some of them are dedicated for students, some of them are dedicated for particular fields and topics, some of them are dedicated for specific tools that you can use. None of them are quite $10,000, but they're all pretty good. I encourage you, get together as a team. There are teams of up to 3 people allowed. Get together as a team and work on some awesome assistance. We still have 2 months available. Yeah?
Any of the dedicated things in the healthcare space?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Healthcare? Is that one of the...
That's not.
Yeah. I would actually be a little bit surprised if it was, simply because of the privacy issues in healthcare. Hey Google, next slide. Hey Google. Hey Google. Next slide.
Okay, here's the test version of this audience?
No, really. Why should I develop for the Google Assistant?
Quite simply, the reason why I think you should develop, and more important, this is why I developed the Google Assistant, because I think ubiquitous computing is really where computing is going. This conversational style, the fact that I can simply, while I'm doing other things, ask my assistant for something. The fact that in the future, while I'm in my car, while I'm walking down the street, while I'm doing any one of a number of other things, I can get the information that I need at that moment and then get back to doing what I was doing in the real world is crucial and it's powerful. The Google Assistant, I think, is one of the best ways we have to get there. It's exciting technology, it is fun to do, and I really, really think it forces us to think about ways to make technology more human than what we've been doing for the past bunch of years. And that excites me a lot, and I hope it excites you. And if it does, I really, really encourage you. Learn more about this platform, develop for it. It's easier than you think, and I think Brad's going to be talking a little bit about that in a few minutes. If you have questions, join the forums, and we will help you along, because this is cool technology, and it is the future. Hey Google, next slide.
All right, let's get the test version of this audience.
Any other questions for now?
We're going to have some more questions after Brad talks, but does anyone have anything on anything that I've spoken about? The links are right here again, including the action challenge. These slides will be available on from the Meetup page as well. Hey Google, next slide.
Sure, let's get the test version of this audience.
Let me introduce Brad Abrams, Group Product Manager for Actions on Google.
Okay everyone, thanks very much. And with that, here's Brad.